Call the meeting to order, and we can begin with a roll call, please.
Member Espericueta?
Here.
Member Cornett?
Here.
Member Wood?
Here.
Member Jarrell?
Here.
Member Girardi?
Here.
Student Board Member Salato?
Here.
And Student Board Member Romero?
Here.
I think I owe an apology to our IT people. I hope I didn't start too soon. Okay, thank you. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Our student board member, Stephanie Romero, will lead us in the pledge. And afterwards, would you please remain standing for a moment of silence?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So if you please remain standing, we're going to have a moment of silence to be observed for David Brashear. David was hired with Palm Springs Unified on September 28, 2021 as the Director of State and Federal Programs. He had been working in education since 1987 as both a teacher and an administrator. Okay, thank you. Next up, item 6D, our student board member Ramon Salato is now going to read our mission statement.
All members of Palm Springs Unified School District are united in our commitment to equity. We create deep, meaningful learning opportunities, build professionalism, and engage parent and community to ensure success for all students. All students graduate with the skills, capacities, and confidence needed to succeed in a rapidly changing world.
Thank you. Thank you both, Stephanie and Ramon, for helping us out tonight. Item 7 is report of closed session items. Board Member Jarrell, are there any closed session items to report?
President Girardi, there are no session items to report.
Okay, thank you very much. Next item is approval of the agenda. Unless anybody has any changes, can we get a motion to approve the agenda, please? How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And that brings us up to item 9. We're going to have a presentation from the foundation of the Palm Springs Unified School District. It's their mid-year update report. And Dr. Sweezy, you want to open this up?
Thank you. So today we have Ellen Goodman here to give a mid-year update on the foundation's work. And this presentation being scheduled in the board meeting is part of our master agreement between the district and the foundation. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ellen.
Great.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us here. My name is Ellen Goodman, and I am the director of the Foundation for Palm Springs Unified School District. Is it okay if I take this off while I'm on the mic? That's great. Okay. Let's see. We have a very short presentation. We just thought we would report on our nums and figs, as we say, and we'll flip over to our next. And I believe everyone got this in their packet and might have had a chance to read through it. So we start with our statement of purpose. We're charged as a 501c3 with providing a stream of external funds to schools within the district. The Foundation for Palm Springs Unified School District represents a public-private partnership dedicated to supplementing federal and state support of education. Working in collaboration with the school board and superintendent, the Foundation, 1, helps to underwrite existing initiatives and pilot new initiatives that are unfunded or underfunded. And 2, builds visibility of the district's needs among community stakeholders and potential donors. And 3, functions as the fiscal agent for exterior funds that come to the district, stewarding and providing fiduciary administration of such resources. So this slide, what we did was we put down our annual budget and where we are to budget from July 1st to December 31st. So our first category is the category of arts, and a few things fall under there. But we did actively budget for Musical Theater University and an instrument program for elementary schools. That's our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade programs. for third graders recorders, fourth graders ukuleles, and fifth graders keyboards. The items that you see right under arts, theater kids, grab your seat, and then the choir at Cathedral City High School. These were not budgeted, but they were dollars that came in, so we reflected those. We budgeted $50,000 for arts education, and to date, July to December 31st, we have raised $72,596. Under our category of academics, we have our classroom grants, we have our STEAM labs, our innovation labs, essay contests, and our native studies program. We budgeted $135,000, and as of December 31st, we've raised $123,318. We do anticipate that the balance of the essay contest money will come in our third and fourth quarter of this school year. And we have invoiced the tribe for the reimbursement for the native studies, so we expect to be on target. Our career college readiness category, which are our scholarships, our student mentor and resource training program, which is SMART, that's our mentor program at Desert Hot Springs High School and Rancho Mirage High School, and Race Academy, and we budgeted $155,000, and we've brought in $157,625,000. Then under our category, which is our wellness center, and you probably remember that's our multi-year plan, and we broke that into 3 phases where we would do 9 centers in year 1, and 9 in year 2, and then 9 in year 3, so that every campus would have a center. And we budgeted $75,000 for this year, and we've raised $79,519. The Shoes for Students is new. That was not in our multi-year plan. That was something that came to us a few months ago. We were having a conversation with Student Services around a toy drive. And we were chatting, and what we found out was our students usually get a lot of toys and oftentimes get a lot of food for the holidays. And they get a lot of back-to-school supplies. And what they don't really get are things like shoes. And a simple story, a couple of weeks ago, Desert Hot Springs had a main pipe break, and we had families that were displaced, and the one thing they came and asked the school for were shoes. So I was sharing this, just a casual story, with one of our funders, and they couldn't believe it. Interesting enough, they grew up in the shoe business. They were like, how can somebody not have shoes? And they really wanted to buy shoes for our students. So we worked in a collaboration with Student Services and our funder and came up with Shoes for Students. We decided to do a soft launch at Christmas to see if we could generate any interest. And just in 1 week, we generated $3,849. The funder has since put $25,000 on the table to do a dollar-for-dollar match, and we'll be releasing an ad campaign in the Desert Sun next week. You'll see full-page ads, quarter-page ads, and you'll see social media ads. The campaign will be a 60-day campaign for February and March, and then we'll have a distribution event at our schools. And our goal is to raise enough money to purchase 2,500 pair of shoes for the kids that would qualify as our homeless students. So we anticipate at this point having an additional $50,000 added to our revenues as a result of that. And then we have 2 categories which we keep as categories. Last year we did a release of surplus, and strategy is around January. It's a good time to do a release of surplus from an investment account, because the markets can be unstable. Last year they were not unstable, they continue to be strong, but this year we're seeing already an 11% decrease in our markets. And so we didn't pull a release of surplus out, but that's what that bucket is for. That's what those 2 buckets are for. And some dollars came in. The general administration, that $3,000 is from board member support, and that is their annual contribution. So for a total of $500,000 for the year, by the end of December 31st, we are at $440,024. Another slide that we put together for everyone was that you could see what the number of new donors and returning donors. And so our left-hand column you'll see is a new donor category, and in those 6 months we've received 50 new donors at $75,160. That's about an average of $1,500 a donor. It's really quite high. Most nonprofits, their point of entry is $25 or $50, maybe $100. So where you have a fundraising pyramid of point of entry, which is your largest part, and then your legacy gifts or your very high-level philanthropic is your smallest part of your pyramid, our pyramid is a little bit more like a diamond, where we have people coming in at much higher levels than most charities. That says a lot for the work that we're doing and a lot for the work that the school district is doing. And I really think that having that school district out there in the community makes all the difference in the world. On the right side of the chart are our returning donors. We had 162 returning donors, and we've raised $364,850 from those donors. And that's an average of about $2,252 per donor. And I think this is a reflection of coming out of COVID, where the returning donors who have been supporting us over the years really stepped up. They really wanted to make a difference and get involved, and thought it was important to show that. The next slide is really just a bird's eye view of the work that we've done each month over the last 6 months. We spent most of the summer with our wellness centers. Our goal was to get 3 centers open so that we could use those as displays, in addition to actually a learning curve to determine, what lessons we've learned, where we might need to course correct, what we did well, what we didn't do well. And it also gave us an opportunity to see how ready the school was and what needs to happen as we open our additional 9 centers or 7 centers for this period, where the readiness of the schools. And then in September, we dove into our mentor handbook, and we created our 3rd edition, and we started our mentor recruitment. And then in October, we continued with our SMART handbook recruitment of students and of mentors. We have been doing a lot of work around board development. You might have heard that in the past. And so we're very active in our board development. We have a team who's putting together a new onboarding manual. Our goal is we would like 3 new board members, but we're shooting for 5. We have 10 seats open. The foundation board has, in its bylaws, has 25 seats available for board members. And then November and December really starts to focus on year-end and holiday fundraising. These are just some of the pictures coming out of COVID. People were very excited to gather and to celebrate. So we have some photos from MTU's Blame It on the Mistletoe movie, which was in December. And then we had our Family Engagement Day. We partnered with Family Engagement. They were rock stars. They really they knew exactly what to do for this event. And we distributed toys and food, and there were stations and a bunch of kids, and we had Santa and photographs. It was just delightful. And then we had a very special event with Keisha D, who performed at the Roost in Cathedral City. They've been very philanthropic, and the night that we were there, they handed over a $30,000 check for our scholarships. So it was really a great season for us. And we're getting to the end, towards the end of our slides. I wanted to show you a video. One of the things that we did this fall was we worked to produce an information video for the wellness centers. So this is strictly for individuals who we are sitting and talking with about funding wellness centers, and some information that they might be able to, individuals who are community partners, for example, Eisenhower or the Desert Healthcare District, Desert Oasis. And it was a way for us to create a visual and tell the story. And if it's okay, I'd like to show that video. Mike, would that be okay? Okay, great. Oh, let's see. If I can figure out how to do that on this slide. I don't know how to do that. Sorry. Thanks, Erica.
When I'm on my way to school, sometimes I feel like excited and anxious at the same time. But when I'm walking, I'm thinking like, oh, they're looking at me.
I have the pressure to be very presentable to society, or else I won't be accepted.
For many students in middle and high school, social and emotional distress, anxiety, or depression can seriously impede their ability to learn and thrive.
Well, The mental health of our students has always been critically important for us in the school district.
Mental health is crucial. It is vital.
Schools need a dignified space for us to handle the various range of social, emotional needs.
After the unprecedented pandemic, we knew that we needed to do something different.
In order to learn and thrive academically, you've got to feel well.
Through a collaboration between the foundation and the community, the foundation has created a game-changing program to address student mental health and well-being.
We've done that with some wellness centers at our schools, which are wonderful places for students and staff to decompress those self-regulating behaviors, how to interact with one another. Those are also important lessons that schools need to teach students, and rooms like this really make that happen.
I'm so thrilled that we have the Wellness Center to provide not only mental health, but social emotional learning.
In this circle, we all talk about ways that we can heal. When we're uncomfortable is when we have growth. So breathe in, exhale. Anytime you're feeling anxiety, anytime you're feeling stress, this is a tool that you always have with you whenever you need it. Providing these spaces allows the staff and the teachers to sit down and really get to know the students and understand what's motivating that behavior.
Oh, it takes a tremendous toll because, first of all, it's someone you love and care for. Their problems take over the environment of the family. Solving it is not something that you're equipped to do, so you have to get professional help. We have to make clear that if these young people go without help, these problems would impact their adulthood negatively, and it would have a negative effect on the entire valley. The school is covering the cost of the employees in these wellness centers, but they simply don't have enough money to build out the wellness centers. The private sector has to step in.
We're providing a high amount of support with a high amount of accountability.
Helping these children who, without this help, will not evolve correctly really confirms the statement, it is better to give than receive.
And then on the right-hand side of the slide are the schools that we have added to the pipeline to receive the next cohort, the next set of wellness centers. And then I did just get an email today from Rancho Mirage High School asking if they could learn more and how they could get on the list. And I thought that was really a very nice connection, considering Eisenhower. When Dr. Sweezy and I met with the CEO of Eisenhower, that was one question they asked, was when was Rancho Mirage High School going to get their center? So word is getting out, and there's a lot of interest. This next slide, which was really just something I had last week before we came to our final images, but this is what you'll see in the newspaper and you'll see through social media. It'll be a combination. Our headline will be "Put Yourself in Someone's Shoes," and there'll be a few images, but I just wanted to give you a little highlight of what that is, what to look for in the paper. The next few slides are what we'll call like our social capital and fundraising. It's getting our message out and involving our community. And so this slide, you'll see 64,548 individuals had access to the Facebook ads. This was just for, let's see, this was our total. I'll get a little closer here. So these were the totals. And this was for just our holiday season. So it ran from the end of November, Thanksgiving, until January 1st. And then 30,354 on Instagram posts. And then breaking it down a little further, just the week of Thanksgiving, There were 9,070 Facebook posts that there were posts that 9,070 people saw. The donation button was clicked 83 times, and then $4,076 was raised in that week, and we spent $245 to run those ads. So we thought that the cost of doing business with Facebook was quite good. From December 8th to January 1st, the numbers are even better. The cost is even better. 10,225 posts, individuals saw posts. 155 times the button was clicked, and $20,585 was raised, and we spent $500 in ads. And then this slide shows you our website traffic. And unique visitors, they are not necessarily new visitors, they're just not repeated visitors. So they were one-time visitors. So we had 1,134 visitors. Our mobile device really kicked it off. 854 individuals accessed the website through their mobile device. 549 people accessed it through their desktop. And then the balance was through their iPads or their tablets. And then we have new visitors and returning visitors on the right-hand side. And you'll see Facebook is pretty strong. And we have a lot of new visitors, very small returning visitors. And then direct is that they typed in the URL. They typed in our our foundation URL into the computer. The next one is PSUSD. They went to the homepage and accessed us through the homepage, and then so forth. And that would conclude the presentation. And I'll pause and see if there's any questions or comments.
Thank you, Ellen. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Go right ahead.
Well, right. It's a great question. And it's one that when we interview schools, we ask those questions. So the schools that have the wellness centers and that are in line, those schools are fully staffed. So there are behavioral health specialists, there are paraprofessional specialists. I mean, the whole suite of individuals who might have otherwise operated in the nurse's office or the principal's office or in detention or somewhere else, they're being moved into that wellness center, so it's staffed full time. And then there are staff members who are able to accommodate Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 students. And so that is one of our first priorities. So they are fully staffed. And then the question that you asked about, how will people find out about it? And so Nellie Kaufman is one of the schools that we piloted in. And so all of the students were invited to a tour, as well as all of the teachers were invited to a tour for the Wellness Center. And then they were also invited to go through the mindfulness and the meditation so they could experience that. Because the students are self-referred, and then the teachers make referrals, and administrators would make referrals. And so it's really important that everybody is introduced to it, either through an assembly or through tours. And then the other thing is we've been in contact with LA Unified, and then there are other schools up in the Bay Area around Concord, and we were given a contact in Colorado. And so we're talking to other schools to really learn more about how they're doing the same thing so that we can model their best practices.
I want to thank you. Ellen, for your presentation, for the update. And each time I know more about the foundation, and I know that is something that the school district needed, the children needed. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Whoops, excuse me. I'm really excited to see that you've raised so much money. I mean, we're halfway through the year according to this with fundraising, and that's real credit to the foundation and the hard work of not only you, but the board of the foundation. So thank you very much, and I'm really glad to see the Shoes for Students will be a campaign that is going to come forward, because I know that is a need with a lot of students in our district. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Karen. And I should say about the shoes, I think it's really important to remember that the way that the foundation, the architecture, the infrastructure, how we're designed, where we have a multi-year plan, it's really important that we're able to respond to school needs and to the community's interest, and that we can kind of step sometimes outside of that plan and be able to accommodate that. So we want to maintain our flexibility, and I think that's a good example.
Maybe you could just give a little bit more information about the SMART program. The SMART program, mentoring program?
So that started a number of years ago. I'll take just a minute and do a little background. We met with Dr. Lyon, who had first thought about bringing a program to our high schools where 30 students would be able to be in an after-school or an elective program, which was a college readiness, which really helped kids move through the college application process. And it was very, very pricey. And so we thought of other ways to be able to save money, and our valley is so rich in resources, just in human capital. And so we decided to try to pilot to see if we could match community members with a high school student to be able to navigate their last 18 months of their academic career and then ultimately get them into college. And so we spent a year writing a curriculum. We borrowed it from a number of different resources in the Valley and our own schools. And we started at we started first at Mount San Jacinto and Rancho Mirage, and we realized this was really for students who were A through G ready, and it was also imperative that we started earlier than just their senior year. And so went from a 12-month program to an 18-month, and we moved from Mount San Jacinto over to Desert Hot Springs High School. And so we're starting with juniors in January, so we get the last 5 months of their junior year, which is a critical time for them, and then we start to add a lot more rigor in August when they come back for their senior year. And we did design it as it was a one-on-one, but it's in a group environment. And so in Desert Hot Springs High School, they meet in the gymnasium on Wednesday mornings from 8 a.m. until 9, and they spend time going through the first 6 months is really priming the pump for a conversation to introduce college to their families and to get the support that they need and start to really think about how to graduate their junior year as strong as they can. And then when they start in August of their senior year, that's when the rigor starts, because the application process, I believe November 30th is when the UC schools close their applications. And a good example, many students did not know that UC schools, University of California schools, have something called a blue and gold program, that if families make $80,000 or less and your grade point average matches a UC standard, your tuition would be waived. And so there are things that we're learning out there that we can actually provide the students with. And we have a very strong graduation rate, and all of our students are in college. Now, the program is underwritten. It's a small expense by the Alwyn Foundation, and they helped us with our iterations of our handbook. They also helped to fund the field trips. So the students go on field trips. Of course, this year when we're able, they go on field trips with their family members. And I think this is really a key, is when you take a student and all their siblings and their parents or their guardians and everybody piles on a bus and they end up at University of Redlands and they're like, oh my God, this is an hour from our house. And yeah, this is okay. Maybe it's okay if you go there. And so we've expanded the field trip part of the project for this year and for next year, and we were able to get an additional contribution from the RAP Foundation, and then we have something called Sponsor a Student, and anyone who would like to underwrite the cost of the year program for the student. And they get incentives and gift cards, and we have picnics and barbecues and a wonderful ceremony at the end of completion where everyone gets a tablet. They get $500 to use any way they'd like at school, and they get a graduation shawl and a bunch of other fun things.
Thank you. I mean, it sounds like a really awesome program. Thanks.
Yes, and we're always looking for mentors if anybody's interested.
Okay, well, and my colleagues stated pretty much what I was going to say, so please go back to your board and your staff and express our thanks and our gratitude for their hard work and commitment to our school district. Please.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, now we're up to item 10. It's student board member report time. The student board member reports will be presented by Desert Hot Springs High School student board member Ramon Salado and Rancho Mirage High School student board member Stephanie Romero. First up, we have Ramon Salado from Desert Hot Springs High School.
Hello everyone, my name is Ramon Salado. I'm the United Student Body Executive Board President at Desert Hot Springs High School, and I'm here to give you guys an update on our district report for the month of January. So without further ado, let's get started. Before I begin, I want to quickly go over some agenda items for today, which is going to cover everything from our Eagles Got Talent preparation, our winter formal, fundraising, and we're finishing off with social media. So let's start off with our Eagles Got Talent, which is going to be hosted in the month of February. But for the month of January, we're doing everything in terms of preparation. This ranges from our Spirit Week to our class dances and the talent show itself. So as of right now, we're actively recruiting talent around our school. This can be musical, comedy, anything that is in the array of talent as it's known. And we're doing this through outreach campaigns on social media, as well as just like going person to person and asking one-on-one. And tomorrow is actually our first dress rehearsal for the talent show. So that's when students can go up and audition themselves and just get themselves prepped in terms of knowing the theater layout and just for them to feel more security and confidence for when the talent show actually arises. In addition, we're also recruiting for our class dances, which is an annual competition that we host between our classes. So this includes our seniors, our juniors, our sophomores, and also our freshmen. It's a really good way to engage our students in friendly competition, and it just brings our classes together in a way where we could showcase talent and just have fun along the way. Next up, we have our talent show Spirit Week, which is basically a traditional Spirit Week Monday through Friday leading up to the talent show itself. So Monday we have our Blue and Gold Day based on our school spirit. We have lunchtime activities which includes face paint and also a staff pie in the face, which doubles as like a fundraiser for us where students can pay $1 to basically pie a staff, I guess you could say like pie a staff member in the face, yeah. And then on Tuesday, it's our Banty/Artist Day, which a lunchtime activity of a Pass the Aux song contest. Then Wednesday, we have Dress to Impress with our photo booth. Thursday is Festival Day, and that includes carnival games and also club vendors. And then we finish off on Friday with Class Color Days, which is a class competition of tug of war. And then finally, just for the talent show, here's a little breakdown of what to expect. Our annual theme has always been Eagles Got Talent, which is basically a play on America's Got Talent. And then our judges panel is composed of DHSHS teachers, staff, and also community members. And that's usually 5 to 7 people who our USP officers recruit. The location is the DHSHS Theater, and tickets prices are as shown, which range in price depending on the seat itself. So we have VIP seats, which are at the very front for $10. Our middle seats are $7, and our back seats are $5. And these tickets are sold in the student store, and given all of the COVID precautions that we want to take, the seats are sectioned off just to make sure that we're preventing as much transmission as possible. And like I mentioned previously, our performances range in everything from musicians, singers, dancers, etc., and then obviously our class dances. We have first, second, and third place winners for both the class dance category and the performers themselves. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the talent show breakdown. And then also in the month of February, we're planning on hosting our winter formal. So this little section is going to include everything from the theme to the venue and also preparation. Our theme for this year is The Great Gatsby, a play on the Roaring Twenties in the 1920s. And next up, we have just a little bit more information on the dance itself. So like I mentioned previously, our winter formal theme will be The Great Gatsby. Our venue is Margaritaville Resort in Palm Springs. The date has been determined. It's Saturday, February 19th from 8 to 12. And the tickets will include discounted couple tickets, which we also offered in the student store. Students can also get a discount if they have a USB punch. And in addition to the dance itself, our senior class is hosting a Great Gatsby themed movie night before the event itself as a fundraising opportunity. Next up, we're moving on to more fundraisers for February. So we have stickers, senior hoodies, and Valentine grams. Our sticker fundraiser is a fundraiser which our class of 2023 is hosting. That's our junior class. So essentially, these stickers are sold by any USB representative for only $3, and the stickers are as shown to the left. Next up, our seniors are also currently having conversations about having a hoodie fundraiser. And given how these conversations go, they will be added to the DHSHS website soon and could be found at www.dhshsusb.com. And then we also have our Valentine's Day grams, which our freshman class is preparing. And this is going to include various packages, which will be sold outside the USB room from February 7th all the way through the 11th. And distribution will take place on February 14th during 6th period. The packages will range in everything from roses to teddy bears to candy, balloons, and cards. And based on the package itself, the price will also vary. And then finally, I want to end off by promoting our class accounts, which is our freshmen, our sophomores, juniors, and seniors. They continue to post everything that I mentioned so far on here. And it's a great way for our students to stay engaged with all the activities and events that we have around campus. And that is the end of my board presentation, so I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ramon. Very well done. And next up, we'll have Stephanie Romero from Rancho Mirage High School.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Romero, and I am the student board member for Rancho Mirage High School. Upcoming events are Winter Formal, the 2022-2023 course selection. It is freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Our counselors are coming into their English classes and helping their students with their course selections, and they also promote our Race Academy, Culinary, and ASB, AVID, and other clubs we have on school. We have sports tryouts. We have our senior senior night girls soccer today. Girls soccer senior night, I'm so sorry. And we also have our club rush this week, Thursday and Friday. We set up some tables, and clubs give out information, and they have sign-up sheets for their clubs. For example, we have our Best Buddies Club, Key Club, which helps with community service hours, and our ASB class officers also set up tables giving out information about their class for the year. We also have our senior payments coming up for senior packets, grad night. We have ASB applications. If kids want to be their class president, then they apply for ASB, and we have our elections at the end of this year. To the right here is a picture from 2019. It's the sophomore class, president and vice president. We have our winter formal this Saturday, January 29th, from 8 to 11:30 at the Agua Caliente Casino. Our general and guest price is $65. With our Venom card, it is $60. There is unlimited dinner choices. There is a photo booth, great music, and free parking. We will have so much food. Our ASB advisor said we will find him at the chicken and waffle station. So we're very excited, and our theme is Under the Stars. I'm sorry. Our senior karaoke night was Friday, December 10th. We had so much fun. The students were singing silly songs and obviously very heartbreaking ones. So let me play a video.
Ready? Woke up with my girl last night, so I went to the club.
We had hot chocolate and cookies provided. We also asked our students to bring blankets and warm sweaters because it was extremely cold.
Ready?
Our senior packet payments are due February 4th, no exceptions. They include our prom, our senior shirt, our senior barbecue, our yearbook, our Venom card, grad night, our panoramic photo, and that is all. Our senior shirt is seen to say seniors class of 22. On the back there is a small quote. You can't really read it, but it says, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. It's from the song from Taylor Swift. Our motto, Own It, is also there. Our senior portraits, they were due, but we extended the deadline so seniors wouldn't miss their chance to be in the yearbook. Our grad night tickets are on sale for $300 if our students decided not to purchase the senior packet. Our Rattler report is put on by the journalism class. They gather events, information, anything's going on at school. Clubs also can send in information to be announced. They also take very silly segments from lunchtime. They ask goofy questions, or they ask people what they're listening to, and it's very nice. They put it on once a week or every other week. If you need any extra help in math, we have our tutoring math lab in room 652. There is peer tutoring, teacher tutoring, of course, and study groups from 3 to 4. Our ASB applications are up, and you can find them on the ASB website. These are also our social media accounts. Our Twitter and our Instagram accounts will also be found on our ASB website. And thank you for listening tonight, and have a great night.
Stephanie, just a point of clarification. Did you say grad night is $300 a ticket?
Yes, it is pricey. And our senior packet includes it as well, and the total price is $625.
Okay,
So.
Thank you.
Yes.
Expensive.
Yes.
Very well done. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us up to item 11, which is public comments. Do we have any email comments today? No? Okay, no email comments. I guess you were supposed to answer that, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, she gets them too.
Okay, all right.
That's okay.
Any telephonic comments this evening?
We do not have any telephonic comments tonight.
And then do we have any in-person comments? No? All right, no comments from the public this evening, so we'll just move on. To board member comments. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share this evening? Go right ahead.
Thank you, President Gerardi. First, I want to thank the student board members, Stephanie Romero and Ramon Salado. Thank you for your presentation. And in the January 18th, I had a small informal meeting with the secretary of the board of director senior center in Cathedral City, Sue Topley and Geoff Corbin, the president and CEO, with the intention to promote the senior center in the entire region that they cover to attract more diverse seniors. They had wonderful services, and also I attend to the same day, the January 18th, I attend to the agenda planning with President John Gerardi, Erica, and Mike. Thank you for that. I have been participating also with the organization Live to Raise. They are working hard to make more affordable housing. That is important for Anchin. We know the population that we give the service, our student families, they need to have more affordable housing, and is one diverse group in different areas, union representative, council members from another cities, and my participation is like a resident from Cathedral City. And in the January 20 and 21st, we had the board retreat. We have in the first day, the superintendent update was very comprehensive, and also we discussed the goals and priorities for the next school years, 2022-2023, and we checked also our existing policies to update the policies and adapt to the existing needs of the school district. Thank you.
I also would like to thank Ramon and Stephanie for your excellent school reports. We always really love hearing from our school board members and for your participation. Also, thanks to Ellen and the foundation for always supporting our students and bringing actually new ideas into ideas to support our students, and we thank you for that. I'm surprised we don't have any kind of comments from the public, because we always do welcome them from our parents, students, and staff. And I would also like to thank administration for arranging our board retreat last Thursday and Friday, and thank you, Dr. Susie, for the update. It was quite comprehensive and appreciated. Thank you.
Earlier this evening, this afternoon, we had a informative study session about what's happening in our district and all the updates in our facilities. And so to the team in facilities, Dr. Murray, Julie Arthur, all of the people that helped to raise our district up and improve all of our environment for our students. That's a board priority, that our students are in healthy, awesome environments. So if you have a chance to open the report and see all of the changes coming about, it's impressive. Next, we are so fortunate to have great leadership across the district. in our PSLA leaders, and a number of them, 13, have been recognized by PSLA, and they will be going on to future competition, including Laura Dyson, Tanisha Taylor, Teresa Haga, Karen Dimmick, Eric Antuña, Mark Arnold, Deanna Cullian, Denise Fenton, Sue Drummond, Brad Seipel, Rob Nichols, Lisa Todd, and Jessica Whiteman. And these are amazing leaders who have been recognized, and we appreciate their strength and leadership, and we also want to recognize them in our board meeting this evening. As I reflect about this last month and this last couple of weeks, I read comments, I talk to people, and I am a teacher firsthand in a school working full-time every day. And so I do see that these past weeks have taken a toll on not only parents, on children, on teachers, staff, administration. And I have to say that in my history of teaching for 35 years in the Coachella Valley, I have never seen such a difficult time. The challenges and stresses to people across the schools were monumental. Going to campus and not seeing students, having contact tracing happening right in your classroom before your eyes was such a difficult time for many people. And I read comments about even teachers of the year saying they're fatigued, they're tired, it's exhausting. And I just want to say that we have made it through that past couple of weeks, and we are going to persevere, and we are going to trust in all of the people here and across the district to bring us out of some of the darkest times these past weeks. Our superintendent of schools, Dr. Gomez, Edwin Gomez, he mentioned that we must strive for improvement, and we are continuing to do that even in the hardest of times. Dr. King, he said in his letter to us, Dr. Gomez said, "We must remember that intelligence is not enough. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education." So with that, in gratitude to all of our stakeholders, our strong characters, our district for shifting, adapting, changing, solution making, and being proactive, positively coping with our own very challenging, difficult times. Kudos to all of you, because these past weeks have really been a test for many of us and our kids. So thank you again to our administrators, our board, because together this is who we are and how we will go forward. So that's, for me, very important, and thank you.
Thank you for your thoughtful comments. Anybody else? I just have one. I want to thank whoever was responsible for inviting me to be on the spelling bee team. It was a great event, and I want to publicly congratulate our first place winner, Jalen Meza, an 8th grade student from Cielo Vista Charter School. And the winning word was comportment. And our second place winner, Ivan Labrador Escobar, is a 4th grader from Cathedral City Elementary, and I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next few years. So everybody be ready. But anyways, our spelling bee master, Dr. Pfeffer's with us. Great job. Everybody did a great job. It was really a nice experience. So thank you very much for allowing me to participate in that. And that's my comment for tonight. I will take us to our superintendent's update.
Okay, thank you, President Girardi. So not to repeat what so many board members said, but it's been a very, very busy 2 weeks back since the winter break. As I usually do, I like to bring a little bit of the public health update and just share with you and the public some case rate numbers. So really to member Jarrell's point, on December 18th, our case rate was 14.9 per 100,000. So that was 14.9 cases of COVID per 100,000 residents in Riverside County. And we all left for winter break very optimistic that we would return for 2022 with a fresh start and rested students and rested staff and excited teachers and charged up administrators. And while we were away for our 3-week winter break, the case rate increased tenfold. So on January 11th, there were 138.6 cases out of 100,000. And then just this morning when I looked at Riverside County's website, there are 259.1 cases per 100,000. So the case rate has been rapidly increasing in Riverside County, and I just need to say my appreciation to all of our staff, all of our families, and all of our students for returning in these challenging times with a very positive attitude. Within the first week of school returning into session, we got completely new rules from the California Department of Public Health on quarantine procedures and isolation and testing and days out and days to return. So we worked in cabinet that week and made a very rapid change to our practice, and I just want to thank all of our families and all of our staff for embracing those changes so quickly. We continue to do COVID testing at every site, including here at our District Administration Center, and we have vaccination clinics taking place across our district. They are at all of our high schools and here at the District Administration Center throughout February and into March so that people can get 2 doses of the vaccine. So please be looking forward to those. The next one here at this building will be February 8th from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 6 p.m. We also distributed over 40,000 home tests to students, gave each student 2 tests to take home, and we've recently purchased home tests for all of our staff and another round of home tests for our students. So those will be coming out very shortly. Since the winter break, I spoke to you about being concerned that we might have some staffing shortages, and I just want to say those fears, while it was great to be prepared, they have not realized. And our team in Human Resources and Educational Services have done a great job of looking at our substitute teacher usage and allocation, and they've made adjustments so that classrooms across the district stay open. And we have lots of teachers in class and substitutes where we need them. So that's been very positive. Also in the midst of this, as the board knows and the public does as well, we are undergoing a redistricting of trustee areas. And so we've had some webinars, and our district website has been updated. I'm going to ask Erica just to show very quickly for the public. Right at the very first page of our website, there's a trustee area redistricting link. I'm happy to say, Ellen is still here. I'm happy to say we can be kind of in a friendly competition with the foundation for the number of clicks. And our goal here is to get over 1,000 clicks on this, and I have to say we're closing in on that goal. We have the board presentations both in English and Spanish, so you can click on those and see the entire presentation in English and Spanish. And then we have a recorded live webinar, both in English and Spanish. That's about 20 minutes long, and it talks you through the maps and through the 4 scenarios. Those links are embedded right there on the website. They're also part of our PSUSD live YouTube channel. Our current trustee area map is prominently displayed, and then some other demographic data slides across when you view this website. And then below, you can click on the 4 proposed scenarios that we have for redistricting. As a reminder, we need to do this because of the changes in the census in 2020. And then at the end of each section, there's a spot for people to give comments. and you can give comments on individual scenarios, and you can give comments overall on general trustee area redistricting. We've been talking about this at several of our board meetings. We hosted the webinars. I spoke to the public there. We've had our consultant come out and talk about how the scenario maps had been drawn. I'm very proud of the changes to the website that show this information, make it so accessible. And I just want to say to the board and to the public, we have received very, very few written comments. So while again we're at 700 or 800 people visiting the site, we have just a handful of written comments. And so we will be needing, as a board, you will be needing to make a decision on those maps at the end of February. And so I just want to encourage again the public. We've even offered, if you have suggestions for maps, we would have our consultant draw those maps and see if they work. And we would need time to do that. We have, to this date, not received any comments or suggestions that would modify any of the 4 scenarios that are presented. Thank you, Erica. So I just wanted to, again, use this as a chance to remind the public all of that great information is available on our website. We will be talking about this again at our next board meeting in February, and then again the board will be taking action at the end of February, which is required to have new trustee area maps decided on by then. So with that quick update and reminder about trustee areas, I'll turn it back over to President Girardi.
Thank you, Dr. Sweezy. That brings us up to board action items. Item number 14. 14A is approval of certificated and classified employee transactions, OE 4.4. I understand, Dr. Senior A, you're going to take the lead on this?
Okay, good evening. I'd like to first start off by introducing Ms. Celine Ahumada Tirado. Ms. Tirado, come on over here. Right over here is fine. Okay, it gives me great pleasure to recommend Ms. Celine Ahumada Tirado as the Director of Purchasing, Warehouse, and Reprographics. Ms. Tirado is currently employed by the San Bernardino City Unified School District as their warehouse manager. She started her career in San Bernardino in 2014 as a senior purchasing clerk, then later promoted to a buyer position in 2016, and has worked as their warehouse manager for the past year. In this role, she has been responsible for planning, organizing, and supervising all warehouse operations. Ms. Tirado has a bachelor's degree in administration from Cal State San Bernardino. Ms. Tirado's current supervisor commented that her work ethic is excellent and she is extremely talented, adding that she will be a great asset to our district. During her interview, Ms. Tirado stated that Palm Springs Unified has been a leading example of innovative and efficient school district warehousing and reprographics. She's very excited to join our team, and we believe that Ms. Tirado's background, skills, and experience will make her an outstanding leader for our district. Congratulations, Ms. Tirado. Anything you'd like to share with the superintendent and the board, and anybody that you would like to recognize this evening?
I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to bring my skill set here. I want to thank all the mentorships that I've had. Again, I am very excited to be a part of your team. I'm very excited to be a part of Palm Springs. Like you mentioned, you guys have always been a template for us. And I want to thank my family as well, my father who's here, who will be the first to tell you he taught me everything I know.
All right, next I'd like to ask up Ms. Danielle McLean Parks. I'm also very pleased to recommend Ms. Danielle McLean Parks as the Coordinator of Mental Health. Ms. McLean Parks started her career with Palm Springs Unified in September of 2021 as a mental health therapist too. In this role, Ms. McLean Parks conducts assessments, provides counseling and treatment for students, parents, and families. Prior to working for our district, Ms. McLean Parks worked for the County of San Bernardino Children and Family Services as a supervising social service practitioner for 5 years. As a supervisor, Ms. McLean Parks directed social workers and staff who were responsible for delivering services to children and their families. Her previous supervisor highly recommended her for the position and commented that she is professional, ethical, and a great individual to work with. As a coordinator of mental health, Ms. McLean Parks will be responsible for monitoring compliance regulations, clinical supervision, program oversight, and staff development. We are confident she will do an excellent job. Congratulations, Ms. McLean Parks. Anything you'd like to share with the board and superintendent? Anybody you'd like to recognize tonight?
I'd just like to say I'm very thankful for this opportunity and very excited. We have an amazing team of very talented mental health professionals who team and collaborate with our educators to provide for the social, emotional, and mental health of our students, and I am very excited to lead this team moving forward and excited for the growth that we have to be able to provide for our students.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you. So can I get a motion to approve the following employment agreements? Employment agreement with Danielle McLean Parks, Coordinator of Mental Health, salary range 35, step 2, effective date January 26, 2022. And the employment agreement with Celine Amunda Tirado, Director of Purchasing, Warehouse, and Reprographics, salary range 37, step 1, effective date to be determined.
Move for approval.
Thank you. We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations to the both of you. Certainly wish you much success. Thank you. 14B, approval of audit report for the year ending June 30th, 2021, OE 6.7. And Dr. Murray will introduce our auditor.
Yes, thank you, President Girardi. It's my pleasure and privilege tonight to welcome Jonathan Clement, a CPA and senior manager with Eide Bailly, to give the board a brief follow-up on our audit report. Jonathan?
Good evening, everyone. So great to be here. It's always exciting. Oh, I do project, but I will talk into the mic. It's always exciting to present another report because it's one more done and we can move on to the next year. But I will be brief. I'll point out a few highlights and just go over a general overview, and then I'll open it up to questions. So with that, one of the biggest changes is we are different auditors from your previous reports. So that is the one big change. And if you will continue to my favorite page, I believe it's 86, if you have it in front of you. And this is what I call this is what I would recommend turning to first, because it gives you an overview and a snapshot of, and really, the results of the audit. And it's the summary of auditor's results. So yes, page 86. And so what we have is we present or opine on 3 separate reports. There's the financial statements as a whole, which cover internal controls, federal awards, which is federal compliance, federal funding, and then also state compliance. And as you can see, we issued unmodified opinions, which means there was no changes to the, it's an unmodified report, which means the district is fiscally accurate, the best opinion we can give. And as also, there was no findings, no material weaknesses, significant deficiencies, as well as non-compliance materials to the financial statements. That is also the same for federal awards and also state compliance. I would also like to highlight, we list the federal programs we did test, and as you can see, they were hot topic items as everyone was hurrying to spend these funds related to COVID. So we had the Coronavirus Relief Fund, Title I, Part A, which is as part of the normal rotation, and then also the ESF fund, which is that, well, we refer to it as ESSER and also GEAR. So there's multiple allocations and fundings from that. So with that, the second favorite part, or my second most favorite part, is turning to the findings. And so if you continue to the next page, we have the financial statement findings, which we had none to report on. Federal findings, the next page, so 88, none as well. And then finally, well, state compliance, none to report. And then in following up with the prior year report, there were none to note. So with that, I would love to open it up to questions.
Anybody have any questions? I don't think there's anything to question here.
Right. Thank you so much for your time.
No questions. All right, how about a motion? Can we get a motion to approve item 14B?
So moved.
Motion?
Second, I would like to say congratulations to our business service. Wow.
On nothing. Oh, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Congratulations, Dr. Murray. Congratulations, Mr. Van Buskirk. Great job. All right. 14C, approval of compromise and release agreement number 21/22-06 between parents and district dated December 22nd, 2021, OE 6.1. Can we get a motion to approve, please? A motion, how about a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you. 14D, approval of expulsion case 2021/2022-24. Recommendation of findings and fact of conclusion of law, OE 11. May we get a motion on that one, please?
So moved.
We have a motion, second?
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes, and that takes us to 14E, approval of addendum to employment agreement. Okay, so these are all together, 14E, 14F, 14G, and 14H. Approval of addendum to employment agreement for the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, and the Superintendent of Schools. And we'll vote on this all in one block, 14E through 14H. Prior to taking final action on the employment agreement, the Brown Act requires the governing board to orally report a summary of a recommendation for the salaries, salary schedules, or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits for local agency executives. The superintendent, assistant superintendent of human resources, assistant superintendent of business services, and assistant superintendent of educational services are all local agency executives, and a proposed contract amendment for each of them is before us this evening. This recommendation is in line with the January 11th, 2022 approval of a 5% increase to the total compensation for the district's confidential/management employees. The addendum to the superintendent's contract increases the superintendent's base salary to $271,700 effective July 1, 2021. It also increases the district's contribution to health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $15,267. There are no other changes to the superintendent's contract. The third addendum to the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services contract extends the Assistant Superintendent's current contract by 2 years from June 30th, 2023 to June 30th, 2025, and increases the Assistant Superintendent's base salary to $225,184 effective July 1, 2021. It also increases the district's contribution to health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $15,267. There are no other changes to the Assistant Superintendent's contract. The third addendum to the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources contract extends the Assistant Superintendent's current contract by 2 years from June 30th, 2023 to June 30th, 2025, and increases the Assistant Superintendent's base salary to $225,184, effective July 1, 2021. It also increases the district's contribution to health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $15,267. The addendum to the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services contract extends the Assistant Superintendent's current contract by 1 year from June 30th, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, and increases the Assistant Superintendent's base salary to $192,487, effective July 1, 2021. It also increases the district's contribution to health and welfare benefits for certificated management employees to $15,267. So with that read, could we get a motion to approve items 14E through 14H?
Move for approval?
We have a mover for approval, a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Absolutely. We have a lot of confidence in you guys. All right, item 15, the superintendent's consent item. This is where we will vote on items 15A through 15H in one block, unless somebody would like an item pulled. All right, seeing none, can we get an approval for the superintendent's consent items?
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 16 is the board consent item, approval of the meeting minutes for January 11th, 2022. I'll abstain from this one, but can we get a motion to pass? Approve, please.
Move for approval?
How about in a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll abstain. Motion passes. Item 17 is information. 17A is the William Case Report of Complaints, OE 4.12, OE 10.12, and OE 12.10. 17B is first reading of revisions to Administrative Regulation 3513.1, Cellular Phone Reimbursement, OE 8.1. The board has received and reviewed this information to let everybody know. Item 18 is suggestion for future agendas. You guys have any suggestions? I'm just wondering, that when we talk about redistricting, should that be maybe a study session where we can be a little more informal and talk about?
do that.
And it doesn't have to be long.
February 8th.
Does that work?
That'd
You
be
guys
good.
good with that? We
Yes.
discussed it in a study session format?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Any other suggestions? Okay. Anything to, okay, our next board meeting will be February 8th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Anything you wanted to debrief on?
I'm just curious, do our student board members have any final comments tonight? Or something that you might, you may have want to just add or want to tell us?
Yeah, I could say something. So like everyone has mentioned before, I think these past 2 weeks at our school has been especially challenging, not only for the teachers, but also the students themselves. But I think we're finally getting to a point, at least in my eyes, where we're able to recover. We've had a lot of students who were out because of quarantine, start coming back. The same thing goes out to some of our teachers. So with that said, I think we're finally onto that trajectory of hopefully getting better and just continue to do what we've been doing our previous semester and just going up from there.
Thank you, Ramon.
I also had something to add. I really liked the report of the foundation. I think that mental health is so important nowadays. Well, it always has been, of course, but kids really struggle with that nowadays. And the way she was so intricate with how she was explaining the foundation and everything, it's like perfect. It like fits the needs perfectly, and I think students would really appreciate that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. I think your comments are going to be well taken. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, item 21. Can we get a motion to adjourn, please?
Move for adjournment.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for being here.